What did you think of the series?
Again, when they interviewed us, you just saw not a podcast, but something maybe 2-3 part series. But then when it came out, it's incredible and it's so well done, and it gives us. And we're just talking with Ian. So many things that we either forgotten that happened or that we didn't even know that happened. So it was pretty cool to see.
That's what I was gonna say. What is the takeaway? Like, is there something in there where you're like, I never even knew that?
Well, I didn't know they were gonna put my 40-yard field goal I missed against Green Bay. They asked me about it, and I'm like, when they ask you about it, you think, okay, it's gonna be. But I was watching it with my son, and he's like, "Do you want to watch that, or do you want me to fast forward through it?"
Right.
Let's watch it because for me. It was valuable for them to see. Look, you're gonna fail.
Yeah,
yes, you are.
In sports, you're not. It's not if or when. It's gonna happen. So you just have to get up and go. And it was a good lesson to teach them as their kickers themselves. Look, I was the worst kick of my life. I still remember to this day. People bring it up to this day.
Yeah.
I want to punch them in the face. I go, look, we have a Super Bowl. Like, and you remember that? I remember that 40-yard kick.
Do you know that I made 12 in a row after that? Or whatever it was?
See, I have to ask you as an athlete, after I get beat, and that would be like getting beat for a kicker, right? If you had to do it again, what would you do differently?
Well, I don't think it was anything that I did different. I think I just mishit the ball. And it was one of those that it looks so close when you watch it on TV now. I'm like, that looked like an extra point. I can't believe I missed that. It was a 40-yarder. And then I didn't realize how bad the field was. Like all the snow.
Did you know when you touched it? Did you know?
No,
do you know when you get that feeling?
No, I didn't. As soon as I look up and I see it go wide right, I like it's over. Like it's not coming back. Sometimes you get lucky. The wind brings it back in. There was no chance. That one was just fading right. So I was like, it's over. Like it's not happening. And then we happened to lose by a field goal, but his was 22 yards, and I was pissed. You get mad. We're like, why couldn't he have a harder one?
Right.
They drove that big. He has a 22-yarder to win the game. But again, it was not hard to watch, but it was like kind of like it brought you back to the moment. I'm like, man, I can't believe I missed that kick. Kind of made me mad. But then you see the positive side, and then you see the Super Bowl. And I was telling Ian, I didn't realize they had a camera guy inside the locker room. And there was so much footage of us in the locker room before the Super Bowl that I didn't even know there was a camera guy walking around because you're so locked into. And I had the worst warm-up of my life for the Super Bowl. I couldn't make a kick.
And you made them all in the,
right, but in pregame, I missed everything.
Yeah.
Bisaccia came up to me. He's like, hey, we're going to have to go for 2 today, right? That's how he was worried. Trust me, we were all worried.
That sounds like David Wells.
Yeah.
Remember David Wells before his perfect game?
Yeah.
I said, what were you like in the warm-up? He goes, I couldn't throw a pitch. Couldn't throw a strike.
No, he was hungover. Too.
Yeah.
But he said, I was terrible.
Yeah.
And then I just locked in.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Do they show you any of the other players talking about your missing kick that you never got to hear them comment on it, or just
no? See, that's the one thing where I feel like sports back then was a lot tighter than it is today. Today's a lot more. Even in college, I see it in college with my kids, more individual. They're here to stepping stone to the bigger school, get more money. Where we were so close, and we had such a good locker room. Like those guys put their arms around me and said, "Look, don't worry about it. We're going to get back, and we're going to get back to it." And thank God we won the Super Bowl 2 years later.
Right.
It would have been devastating because that would have given us a first round bye, much better chance to advance in the playoffs instead of going the next week to Philadelphia. So, but the guys we had the best locker room, and that was Dungy though. Dungy brought good people, so he would not allow that, and not that I would go tell on him, hey, coach, but
they're being mean to me.
Yeah. No, we had good guys. They all had my back, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good to see.
You know what was crazy about it? It made me, and I'm not a crier.
Right.
I might have cried 5 times.
Yeah.
Really?
In the first 6 episodes.
For stuff related to you, or
no, not me at all.
Right.
There's certain things, just emotions, but there was definitely Mike Allstott was talking about his neck injury, and then talking about telling the doctor I'm playing, and then laying on the ground and feeling all these tingling, and that was weird. Because he kind of relived it. Trent Dilfer was talking about his son who passed. Tony Dungy was talking about his son who committed suicide.
Tony's son I knew about. What happened with Trent's son? I don't remember.
Trent had a son who went through some issues, and then he passed.
Oh, really?
And I heard stories of it, and it was gruesome.
Oh, that's terrible.
And then Tony Dungy, when Tony's son died, I literally was going on air. And I just found out about it. And I knew him from the locker room.
I remember
I used to joke around with
him.
him, just a good kid. And that was hard to do radio.
Well, a couple of things. One, it's a tragedy when a kid dies, certainly when it's a suicide.
Yeah, that's great.
And then you mix in the fact that you got somebody that's so likable and you would do anything for most people, and he has to be the one to deal with this. You're like, why does this happen to him?
You know what was very, very hard for me was that day doing radio, and then there was some people speaking negative against him. Okay, because, for whatever reason, we're all human,
right?
But there's people saying he wasn't a good father.
Oh,
and I'm like, yo, that's not what suicide's about, yo. You know what I mean? For me, and I'm sure Martin will back me up, I've never met a better person.
Right.
And that's hard to say. I've met a lot of people. I've never met somebody so genuine, period.
Yeah.
In whatever they do. And you could be a Satanist and be genuine.
Sure.
And you're still genuine.
Yeah.
He's as genuine as I've ever met as a person, period.
Yeah.
And not only that, his kids lived at the facility.
Yeah,
so
I used to see them there all the time.
Yeah, because he opened it up to family. That's a huge thing. When I remember coming from Kansas State, that my brothers walked in and out of that facility like they owned the place.
Right.
You know, we had the Friday barbecues for the families. So he was all about, and they were our ball boys.
Yeah,
like with Royals my rookie year, both of his kids were our ball boys. So we got to know them. Great kids. So yeah, you just don't know why it happens, but you could never ever say Coach Dungy was a bad father. He was a great father to us.
Yeah.
You know, can you imagine his own
There's
kids?
no way he was a bad father.
No way. No chance.
There's no way he was a bad father.